Hey everyone, Madonna here.
Hello.
Miss Monica's back again. We're going to have a play around with spirituality today. See what's going on there. Yep. Seems like a weird thing to do, but things are doing so well, we might as well work on the things that are, forefront in our minds.
Yeah. Knock them at the head.
And it's like your usual things, isn't it? It's like wherever your self-worth, self-esteem goes, it's that thing that comes back into play occasionally. Says, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so in relation to spirituality, in relation to being Christian, in relation to religion. Okay, so where do we need to start, little body? Okay, so we need to start by getting a tuning fork combo in there. Okay, so the first one's circulation of your sex organs, the pericardium. You had a thought? No, it's all good. So pericardium, liver.
Okay. Oh, that liver.
Bloody
It's
liver.
always turning up.
Okay, so pericardium, liver, it's feeling in the dark around something, constantly being surprised about things. And then that makes you feel like you're not in control when you're constantly surprised by things. Yeah. And feeling in the dark, you feel out of control.
Yeah. The
flower essence is called strawberry cactus. It's a desert alchemy flower. Okay, interesting. So the emotions associated with that are feeling, taking life too seriously, not having fun.
Okay.
Expecting things to go wrong and having issues with controlling difficult emotions. So once again, you mentioned before that you don't feel like a good Christian at the moment. Would any of that be different if you were feeling like a good Christian? So for example, if you believed in let go and let God, or you believe that, God takes care of us all, would that change the way you're thinking about things?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
And what percent, okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how good do you feel with your spirit or your religion or your Christianity?
Only 6 or 7.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go have a play. We only need to do the negative side. Interesting. And it's dissolving. We need to dissolve, expecting things to go wrong, taking life too seriously, not having fun. Because you're trying to work a lot of the time, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because your big thing in the past is food is fun.
Yeah.
And also spending time with your kids and grandkids and that sort of thing.
Nothing like that happens anymore, so.
No. So it's, yes.
Yep. Dog and I.
Yeah. And obviously having to be resolved to that, because that makes it okay if you resolve to it, but it doesn't make us happy.
Yeah. And some of the friends that I thought I had are not friends really, they're acquaintances, so.
Interesting.
I've worked that out in the last couple of months.
Yeah. Okay, so with the combo, so the combo is, and from where have you lost most of your friends? Has that been more from work or from church or from all over the place?
Yeah.
And it's just feeling like that duck out of water, we're wearing different stripes to everyone else at the moment.
I found 2 new friends and, I'm just going to go on with them now. And
beautiful.
Along else.
I take responsibility for my attitudes and now choose to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively dissolve my expecting things to go wrong and my taking life too seriously, not having fun into all-encompassing love. I make the commitment to kindly, gently, lovingly, and supportively choose to let go of emotions for transmutation to the heart, allowing love and joy to rule. I take responsibility for my attitudes and now choose to kindly, gently, lovingly, and supportively dissolve my expecting everything to go wrong and my taking life too seriously and not having fun into all-encompassing love. I make the commitment to kindly, gently, lovingly, and supportively choose to let go of emotions for transmutation to the heart, allowing love and joy to rule.
You hit the nail on the head, really. With those ones.
Yeah, sometimes we just have to let stuff go.
That's right.
Mm. Now, in relation to this, is there psychological reversal? Yes, there is. Want, need, think, safe, believe, deserve, trust. So it's safety. And because safety was such a big part of your childhood, it's revisiting now. So in the one place you should feel safe in your life, in your church, in your spirituality, in your connection to those people, the safety isn't there at the moment. There's the safety, it's like the safety net's been pulled out from underneath you. The last 2 years has taken so many safety nets away. So your brain doesn't feel like it's safe to even keep those connections going. And there's one connection you don't need anyone to approve of, you know, so you just need to keep that connection going. You're the only one. So it is safe to let go of this problem. Hold. Not yet. It is safer to keep this problem.
Yep.
Hold.
Spotty.
Okay. Okay. Is there any glial cell stuff in here? Just let me ask. So in relation to this, no. Okay, so let's go on and find where we need to go. Do we need to go between survival, deep survival, and deep survival? Celestial circuit? Okay. And hold. Hold. Yeah, so part of losing that energy is that your brain's trying to put up boundaries so you don't care about people so much.
Yes.
Because then it hurts more when you lose them. You know, and it's easy, isn't it? It's like, oh, well, it's just me and my dog. If you just have you and your dog, you're not going to get hurt.
That's right. I think sometimes it's not feeling good enough too. You know, that's come out lots of times, but
yeah,
you know, that's from childhood too.
Yeah. So what's that got to do with the spirituality?
Well, sometimes I think, well, I'm just not good enough. You know, those people are so much better. You know, it's...
Isn't it funny that anyone on the planet would think that other humans are better?
Yeah.
Imagine all the trillions of people, I mean billions of people on the planet, that anyone would think that other people are better.
Yeah.
Or that they are better than other people.
You really have to be in a really positive state to be able to think that I'm good enough. You know, we've been through this. Why?
Yeah. I think I don't think anyone on the planet's been through the last 2 years easily.
Yeah.
So, except for the few elites who are, you know, driving the whole train. And I think it really has been very much a time of finding your own tribe, finding those people, like-minded people, because people have been told for 2.5 years to disregard humans who don't think the same of them.
Yeah.
You know, politicians worldwide are being abusive to anyone who isn't doing exactly what they say. Meanwhile, the politicians keep getting found out doing the opposite of what they've said. So and hold. It's safe to let go of this problem. Oh, not yet. It's safer to keep this problem. Not yet. Okay. What do we need to do next? Do we need to do celestial circuit third, second, first? No, we don't need to do that. So yes, I will celestial because it's tuning forks. Okay, so do we need to do an affirmation with the tuning forks? Do we need to work with somewhere specific? Somewhere specific. So figure 8 energy and meridian energy, chakra energy, chakra. Throat. What percentage of people do you speak your truth to?
Any of you?
Like 10%, 20%, 30%?
I'd say nearly 10%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 90% of the time, so thinking about God, thinking about spirituality, thinking about religion, 90% of the time you're lying to people. Or avoiding the truth to avoid confrontation.
Yeah, I just don't want to hurt them.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it hurts me, but yeah, I don't want to hurt them.
Yeah. But how does that make you feel?
Well, then I just go home and
play with your dog. Yeah.
Well, I've got you.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. We shouldn't all say everything we want to say without filtering, but that's a very small part of your life where you're able to be yourself and speak your truth. Like a very small part.
Okay. Yeah.
This is why I started my podcast. So I can just be myself.
Even with family, sometimes I don't. You know, I sort of sit back and think, oh, no, I shouldn't say that. No, I can't say that. No, I can't say that. So
I'm always in trouble with family.
So you just let them go do the conversation. You say yes, no, and maybe have, 2 bucks worth in them.
Interesting, huh?
Sad old body done.
Yeah, so what it's doing, because, okay, so is this in relation to feeling less than? Yeah. Is it in relation to being spiritual, connection to God, religion, connection to God? Okay, so it's more. Right, so because your body's running on a lot of long-term stress, it's probably not having a spiritual or a faith practice in place. Do you have something like that every day?
Yeah. Oh, most days I do devotion.
Yeah.
Or I'll say prayer.
So when you're now I don't know about I know that they've found that people who pray regularly, there's specific parts of the brain that are really active, and they are, and this is not anything about faith or God or anything, but they're the same areas of the brain where we take in fables and stories from our past. So that they're sort of similar parts of the brain. Mm-hmm. If we are not communicating regularly, those parts of the brain will prune, which is why church, sort of you hear the stories and, the sermon and all that jazz. But what it's doing, there's something about this where your body's releasing long-term stress. Your body is assuming long-term stress in relation to your connection with God, and it's shutting down your serotonin. So your serotonin is your feel-good, nurturing, happy hormone.
Yeah.
Is it messing with dopamine? Oxytocin, also oxytocin. So oxytocin is, you know, when you get a compliment,
Yeah.
and you immediately swipe it to the side, and then I repeat it. Then you say thank you. Well, the moment we say thank you and believe it, that's the moment we release oxytocin.
Oh, okay.
It's almost like giving our self-love energy.
Yeah.
If we just swipe the, you know, the compliment to the side, we don't get oxytocin.
Oh, okay.
None of them have any lights on. Just hold that little point there. Okay, so you do have a faith practice every day.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just ask, is there something about your faith practice? Okay, so let me just check something. So, in the clear, hold out. Trust and trust issues in relation to your faith. Hold. In relation to feeling appreciated. Hold. So let's ask self-appreciation. Hold. Feeling appreciated by others. Hold. Yeah, right, okay. Right. So absolutely, feeling less than, feeling unworthy. I'm going to check the grief gauge for you and your connection with God.
Mm-hmm.
So, as children, when things happen, it can jam our relationship, but I says, you know, with people. So let's just ask in relation to your connection with God. Just out of curiosity. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is between 13 and 18 years old. Something happened. Okay, just a sec. Now it's active. So you actively didn't feel free. You actively felt like someone had you, you know, suppressed, or you were doing something for someone else, or you didn't believe your life was your own and you had to, everything was about someone else. So there's something weird, well, feels weird. And in 20 years I've been looking at this chart and see where free is. I don't think I've ever got to here before. It's the first time I've ever seen the word free, which is just interesting. But anyway, but it, obviously adolescent hormones and all that jazz. You were just a good kid, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said all the right things then too. Well, you had to.
So once you start to believe you're not free, because you know we've talked a lot the last 2 years about body sovereignty and all that sort of thing. when you start believing you're not free, you give over your body sovereignty, you give over your energetic sovereignty, you give over your emotional and spiritual sovereignty. So, you know, we've been chatting, there's a difference between the God that's portrayed by religion, which is a God who, you know, is all powerful and wants us to, you know, be cowering. Then there's a loving God who wants us to be happy and free and have body sovereignty and live our best lives. So somewhere in the middle is probably the truth, but basically when we believe we're not free, we're going to be on this side, especially when it comes down to God. So we're going to have this connection to God that's going to be from a fear perspective as opposed from a love perspective. Let's see if that's messing with any of your ego defense mechanisms. Yeah, right. Okay, so this is in relation to spiritual practice, in relation to the connection with God. Okay. So there's some avoidance there and feeling controlled. So it's like your brain has put God into a position like an abusive partner or husband or something like that. So we need to release the fear and allow the love, I think is what we need to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Because with the ego defense mechanisms, both, you know, feeling controlled and then avoiding, that's not a great connection. You know, it's not going to work for you. Because then we just avoid anything that doesn't feel nice to us.
That's what I do.
Yeah, it's just easier. Yeah, interesting. So there's like 4 main areas to the grief gauge. It's not under alarm, it's not under adapt, it's not under adoption, it's under maladaption or recovery. So instead of having instead of just having a healthy reattachment when something happened, your body's gone into a bit of a like a bit of a sadistic state about it. You know, sort of like everything in the Bible, there's twos and you know, there's like different perspectives on many things.
Yeah.
And if we only take the negatives, then none of us would ever get to heaven. And if we only take the negatives, then none of us would feel like we were worthy. Or if we only take the negatives, you know, it's sort of like it's easy to take that when they're the hormones we're putting out.
Okay, yep.
Because whatever hormones you're releasing, that's going to see the world around you. So if you're putting out feel-good hormones, like this week you've been feeling so fantastic,
right.
you're more likely to see stuff you won't see in weeks when you're feeling depressed. Because hormones determine how we're looking at the world around us.
Okay.
But it's almost like a like, I know these words aren't going to be correct, but it's like almost a sadistic or masochistic or morbid way of looking at things rather than happy, healthy, whole, safe. It's quite heavy stuff. And then if I think around that connection that your brain's got with God for whatever reason, that's sort of like an abusive relationship. We just have to calm that down and go, oh, no, let's just open up this channel.
Well, as a child, it was, you must do everything right. So maybe I'm thinking...
Oh, which is your terminology when you're in a funk too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course then, you know, 6 weeks before Easter, do they still do the giving up things 6 weeks before Easter?
Yeah. Oh, that's more in the Catholic Church.
Okay.
I'm in a Lutheran now.
Okay.
So.
Oh, really? Okay. What's been playing up on your foot lately? Tell me again.
That just a pain in the
Like underneath?
Yeah.
Or the heel?
Yeah. That's the only thing that's wrong with me today.
Yeah. Yeah, balanced by your life shared from your true feelings. Your timing is essential. Inner authority to love yourself. So those parts of the bone and the feet are about core love for yourself. So from a, yeah, okay.
That side's right. It's just the left side.
Okay, so stack that in. Is there a chakra we can surrogate? Yeah. 7th chakra, sorry. So base, adrenals, sphenoid bone, and hold. Hold. I must send you a really good sermon that my Auntie Therese sent me by someone on the weekend that is standing up against governments and shenanigans and speaking his truth. So there's fear. So there's so in relation to this, there's fear driving it. The base chakra is around not feeling safe to put yourself first and to love yourself. Because I assume you would think that is selfish for you to put yourself first. And I know you've been doing it for a long time, but how do you feel about doing it?
Yeah. I just believe everybody else comes first. And,
And that was your mum or your dad? Was your mum like that?
No, Mum was lovely. No, Dad, you had to be perfect. And only God is perfect.
Yeah, right.
So I was never on a winner.
Yeah. Escape submission freeze. So even just talking about that, your brain went into no, don't possibly go there. Don't talk about putting myself first.
See, Dad died when I was 12, so you said 13 days.
Yeah, right. So you would have come into adult earlier by losing your dad at 12. You can't lose a parent without changing your trajectory of your life force. How old were you when you got married?
24.
Yeah. Okay, there's another RAS circuit. Okay, so this one's low serotonin. Okay, so this one's creating vigilance. So once again, is it in relation to spirituality, connection with God, religion, church? So once again, it's connection to God. So there's a vigilance. So there's, do you feel better after prayer or after your devotion? Yeah. So there's like, and if you miss it, do you feel guilty?
Yes.
Okay. Do you put it into little bits throughout the day as well?
No, do it all at once.
Okay.
Oh, maybe twice, because I did the actual devotion and, prayer at night before I go to bed.
Yep. Yeah, because even though you're getting a burst of serotonin when you do your devotion, your brain is vigilant if you miss it.
Yeah.
So then for the rest of the day, your brain's going to feel guilty for if you miss it the next time you go to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's short-lived serotonin, short-lived feel-good hormones. Knowing what you know, do you think there's really any reason to feel guilty in your life?
I don't really think so, because I live as, I do what I do, and if I do it wrong, well, it's too bad.
Wrong? Yeah, interesting. Let's see where your map of consciousness is with this. Yeah, right. So it's more in relation to fear. Interesting. So creating anxiety, thinking about God as being punitive. He'll come down with vengeance. But that creates anxiety and withdrawal. Okay.
But then I don't have a fear of dying.
Yeah. Do you know why that is?
I just don't, when my time's there, I'm happy to go.
Okay, so in relation to fear, yeah, so it's almost like your brain's constantly waiting for getting into trouble. So even though you're a grown-up woman, your brain's still waiting to get into trouble all the time. And hey, if no one else is going to do it for you, you're going to do it for yourself.
Oh, I say sometimes. Oh, I say a lot of the time. My second name's trouble.
Mm.
Maybe I've got to get that out of her.
Yeah. What would a better second name be?
Confident.
My second name's Confident. My second name's Happy. My second name's Joyful.
Yeah.
My second name's Abundant.
See, that's what comes out of your mouth, isn't it?
Yeah, and if your brain's been saying that to yourself for 50 years, then it's a deep-held response. And that frontal cortex is only 1 to 3% of our brain, but that subconscious that's got all those patternings in it, that's 60 to 70% of the brain. So if your brain's saying, I'm bad, I'm naughty, I'm in trouble, and the other part's going, I'm a grown-up woman, I'm doing fine, that's the part that wins, if there's enough of that negative self-talk going on. And hold. Now that was specifically fear of failure in relation to that. Yeah. Actually, and with the hippocampus, let me go and check in relation to trust. And hold. self-appreciation. Hold. So this is the part of the brain that holds a lot of fear of failure, fear of success, but also I want to check in relation to oxygen. Hold. And thought fields. So the stuff that just swims around our energy when we're thinking. Hold. So the energy of that fear of failure is in there, you know, the lack of self-appreciation. And once again, I know when you're in a good place, you're in a great place.
Yeah, that's right.
I wonder if you feel guilty when you're in a good place.
I don't know, there's, you know, a couple of years ago there when I lost all the weight and I was as happy as anything.
Yeah.
Trying to get back there.
You don't want to be Job.
It's true.
Okay, so once again, hippocampus, fear of failure, fear of success. And hold. Self-appreciation. Hold. Thought fields. Hold. Still something going on there. Okay, so what's going on there? Once again, do we go into... Okay, we'll go back into the map of consciousness. See whether we've shifted the energy further up the chain. Because it was in fear before.
But see, I think my life just goes on and on and on. Like, someone said to me the other day, what are your goals? I don't know. I don't really have a goal, and I'm sort of thinking,
well, you do, because you're always working on your health. You know, you know, because you have amazing goals when it comes to intermittent fasting. You love the energy that gives you and the power that gives you. You know, feeling empowered about that. You know how well the weight comes off when you choose to do it.
Yeah.
You walk like your little doodad. How much have you walked since you've had your machine on your wrist?
Yeah. Well, we can't go to bed until we got 10, but now that I'm not working or mowing as much, I've got to stop at 8.
Yep.
But like, I'm still getting, 16, 17 some days.
So interesting, the level of the map of consciousness, it's gone from fear, which is about a level of 100, you know, the 999, that's enlightenment.
Yeah.
So it's gone from fear up to courage, and courage is about permitting yourself. It's making things feasible. It's being empowering and affirming yourself, affirming your life, affirming you.
Yeah.
So that's when we get courageous, because we start believing that we are worth it.
Yeah.
You know, so it is courageous to believe that, because here in Australia we don't want to be the tall poppy and be knocked down at the knees.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, you know, Aussies love nothing better than to knock everyone down once they start putting their little heads up there. I interviewed Amanda this morning, and thinking about her, she actually applied to be a candidate for One Nation with Clive and Craig. United.
Yeah.
And she's got a biomedical degree, and she's got, you know, she's been a naturopath 15 years, and yet she didn't get chosen. And I said to her, well, that actually makes me really hopeful for the party. If they've knocked her back, who have they got instead of her in that seat?
Yeah, that's right.
So to me that sounded, I felt like that was a real hopeful thing. But yeah, that level is now empowering. Okay, we need a flower essence. Sunshine Wattle. Sunshine Wattle is for when gloominess will come over and just, you know, take over our lives for a little while, so it gives optimism and joyfulness and playfulness. Okay. 5 drops.
I've already 20.
Well, 5, that's about the amount for about 80% of your life.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So, you know, losing your dad at 12, but also having that tumultuous relationship in the household before 12, and also those beliefs that came out of church when you were little. That's a lot of fear. And it's a lot of shame and guilt when you don't live up to expectations. Okay, so being the good kid, did you still get in trouble?
Yes, I did.
So it doesn't matter how good you are,
No,
you're
right.
always going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Because somebody would dob you in as if, because they wanted to keep out of trouble.
Like what the government's trying to get everyone to do now.
Yeah. I was a middle child, so.
Okay. What do you want your connection with God to be?
Happy.
Happy. What else? Yep. Happy, loving. I enjoy a happy, loving connection with God. Oh. I enjoy a happy, loving connection with God. Oh. 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 I enjoy a happy, loving connection with God. And hold. Happy, loving connection with God. Hold. Beautiful. Happy, loving connection with God. Hold. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
How do you feel?
Yeah. I like that actually.
Interesting. So I suppose
Yeah,
that
it's
message
really
is,
earlier, yeah.
you know, it's really about your connection. Don't worry about the church or the people in church. Don't worry about religion. Don't worry about spirituality. Just think about your connection and the happy, loving relationship you want, because that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's what I want. So.
Yeah. This is a new program for this body now, and in the future the old program for this body, so no one will say that in the future. And congrats with your weight loss.
Thank you. Thank you very much for today. I think that's, I think it's helped me to grow actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's all stuff we know. You know, God isn't vengeful. Why would God be vengeful? That's just something men created to keep us in, you know, us controlled,
yeah.
you know, within the church.
But it was the way I was feeling
Yes.
too, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still can't explain to you why I've got those thoughts.
Yeah.
So I think today's been really good.
And I think many relationships with you with power in your life, whether it's your dad or your husband or whoever, I think they haven't been positive overall. So because there's always been that element of fear in the background, it makes sense that that's going to be the connection you have.
My whole life's in fear.
Yeah.
So,
well, you're up at the level of empowerment now.
yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Good job.
Right. Thank you
That's
so
fun.
much.
Well, that was a bit of a different balance. Hope you all enjoyed that. See you again soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Monica.